Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast with the spotlight on section hikers.
And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jester Section Hiker, the premier podcast with the spotlight on section hikers. And I'm your host, Julie Jester Gayhart. This week's spotlight goes to a previous guest of the show, Josh Smith. Josh, or PBS, which stands for Peanut Butter and Spam, joined me back on episode number 50 to chat about his time out hiking on the Appalachian Trail, which led to leaving the AT, going home, and creating the MST Guide App for the Mountains to Sea Trail. If you are new to the show, I do recommend going back and listening to that episode. It will give you some context to what we are talking about today. Josh joins me today to make an announcement regarding a decision he's made about the MST Guide app. And believe me, when you hear what his decision is, you might initially be as surprised as I was. But after hearing from Josh, you will hopefully come to the conclusion that I did. This man simply loves the Mountains to Sea Trail and the MST community. Thanks for joining me for this week's episode. And if you are new to the show, I really appreciate you tuning in. And now on to Josh Smith and his exciting news. All right, Josh, welcome back to the podcast. Really excited about you being here and you announcing your 2 special announcements about the MST Guide app. So welcome back, Josh.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me again.
Really appreciate you coming back and being willing to share these announcements on the podcast. But first, I know people can go back and listen to your previous episode, which is episode number 50, where we really got into who you are, your hiking, and how you kind of turned your Appalachian Trail through hike into coming back and creating the MST Guide app itself. But just give us a little bit of a brief history. So for those that are new to the show, kind of know what's going on here for some context.
Yeah. So to keep it brief, I've always been a fan of the Mountains to Sea Trail, and I almost didn't hike the AT and wanted to hike the MST as well. But as I did continue on with my AT through hike attempt until I got about halfway, and I got an idea to make a guide in the form of a phone app for the Mountains to Sea Trail. And that was an idea that took over me, and I couldn't get that. I couldn't shake it, so North Carolina was calling me back, and I had to go back, and I had to figure out how I was going to make this app for the Mountains to Sea Trail. And that's been my journey ever since.
which is awesome. So you pretty much decided to stop your through hike of the Appalachian Trail. I know you went back to North Carolina and you enrolled in schooling to learn what I'm going to call different languages of apps. You had to learn how to code an app on an Android phone. You had to learn how to code an app on an iPhone, and that is not easy. I know you compared it earlier to me, like learning a couple different languages. So just go into that real quick, just so listeners have an idea. This is not an easy thing to do.
I mean, it's like not knowing a foreign language at all, and then going and learning Chinese. And then from there, or let's say Mandarin, right? And then going and learning Cantonese after that. So kind of like related, but still very different. And there's a lot of nuances that you don't pick up right away. So
and I'm not doing any of that. So I am very much appreciative of what you've done with this app. And right now it is available. The first announcement. So let's go ahead and make the first announcement. Where is it available now?
The iPhone App Store.
Yay!
As of April 10th.
I think that is awesome. So as of right now, the app is available on the Android. And the app is available. You can download it on your iPhone now. So all you iPhone users out there that are day hiking, section hiking, through hiking, or possibly planning your journey on the Mountains of Sea Trail, you can download that app. So it's available on both. It was a long time coming. I know you've worked very, very hard on it, but you also have another announcement that kind of goes along with that.
Yeah.
And if you guys are like me, you were kind of surprised. You will be surprised when you first hear this, but by the end of this episode, you will understand fully why Josh is going to do what he's going to say. So you want to go ahead and go into that second announcement?
Yeah. So let me just start by saying that initially when the Android app was released, it is free to download and free to use and see where you are on the MST. But to unlock the waypoints and the side trails, it was a modest $3 per segment fee. And that was because I realized that, this costs money. Like not only the thousands of hours of time that I put into it, but, the money to gather all this data, to really journey and venture out and explore the trail. And then also to physically make the app. I was gonna have to pay for it somehow. So I figured, that's how I'm going to do it. I will charge for the data that I'm out there.
And that's not unusual. I mean, I expect to pay for an app when I download it, unless there's free version. There's free versions of particular things, but most of the time you end up upgrading. So you have more logistical findings within an app, no matter what app you're using. So it's now available on the iPhone, the Android, and you are making this free.
Making it free now. That's the big news. And this is something that I've always wanted it to be easily accessible for hikers. And not sure how we're going to pay for it, because we still do have to pay for it. But I know that this is the right thing to do, because there needs to be, and we'll talk about it more later, but there needs to be a go-to app for the Mountains of Sea Trail, and I need it to be accessible to hikers. I mean, that's just what it needs to happen for the trail to grow to what I think it could be.
Yeah, period. End of story. And I appreciate that. And just so you guys know, to give you a little more background between me and Josh, ever since we recorded for that episode number 50, Josh and I have become very good friends. We talk now almost weekly or every other week. And we bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. And when Josh first brought this up to me, I was like, I don't know, I can give you my opinion, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's in your gut. And if you decide that you want to offer the Mountains of Sea Trail free to all users within the Mountains of Sea Trail community, I think that is awesome. So let's get into that. It was in your gut. So you just said, hey, you really wanted to do this and offer it free, but there has to be a real why to that. So tell us that gut, why you want to do this.
I think it really, when you really get down to the root of it, in my heart, I believe in the Mountains to Sea Trail. And, I'm from Hillsborough, North Carolina. It goes through my hometown. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I really think that it's the best thing that happened to the North Carolina outdoors community, the hiking community, and, what it can bring to North Carolina, the small towns along the way, and obviously as hikers, we know the benefits of hiking. Like I'm preaching to the choir here, but I mean, there's so much more it can offer. And like the founder, Howard Lee, the guy who really believes it in the very beginning, that was a kind of a gut move. Like, people that believed in it from the very beginning, they had to take a risk, right, at some point. And they really put their all behind it. And if I'm not taking that risk right now, then I'm not doing as much as I could be for the Mountains to Sea Trail. So I think that by taking this step and making the guide free for everybody to access, I think it can really help the trail grow.
I think it's great. And like I said, you and I have had multiple conversations about this. And really, it's just, you and I bantering back and forth. And this is the kind of way, this is really how I look at it as a consumer. So, Josh, you've created this, you've got this company, Pocket Trails, and then you've created the MST Guide App, which is what I'm calling the flagship app of Pocket Trails. I mean, that's really kind of how I look at it. So you have your overall arching theme of, Pocket Trails, and then you have the Mountains to Sea Trail app, the MST Guide. And what this is just going to allow, other organizations to take a look at this app and say, hey, wow, and let's get real. I mean, Gut Hook is, the flagship app out there for hikers. I mean, all the National Scenic Trails, he's added so many features and additional trails to that app, but Gut Hook can't do them all. Gut Hook cannot provide an app to everybody. So now you have Pocket Trails, and everybody's got to start somewhere. And, like you said, with these other leaders for the Mountains to Sea Trail community, you kind of just got to go with what's with your gut. So you've done it. You've done the schooling. You've made it available on the Android, the iPhone, and now it is going to be free for anybody that wants to download. And I also look at this like, wow, what a diverse thing that you're doing, because this is for anybody that wants access to the trail. This app creates no barrier, and that is awesome. There is no barrier to entry here. So I don't even know if you've realized you've done that, but that is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, from the very beginning, our mission statement was, or part of it was about inclusivity, and what better way than to have an app that's available to all. So.
Well, I think it's great. And you guys, Josh is grinning from ear to ear. And what I want to do now that you guys kind of, who Josh is, you understand the app. Hopefully all of you right now are going on your phones. After you listen to the podcast, and you're downloading the app so you can start utilizing that. Even if you're not living in the state of North Carolina, you can download the app. You can start planning your future dream hike. But what I want to do, Josh, is get into the building of the community piece of what you've done with this app. So talk to us about utilizing the app as a hiker. And one of the benefits of this is being able to use the app on or off trail. So as a hiker, what is the benefit of the app?
Yeah. So there's three main types of hikers I'm trying to target: the thru hikers, the section hikers, and the day hikers. And each of those groups have different needs, as you know. And day hikers aren't going to be concerned with like the grocery store that's half a mile off the trail, but a thru hiker is. They need to resupply, So I wanted to include all of that under one umbrella in one app, and really include as much as I could on the trail as possible, so that so everybody has what they need to go out and hike.
And also for the section hiker, for me, you've got trailhead waypoints and things like that, like where the trailheads are, where I can park a car, where I can, get an Uber and get picked up, or ride my bike, on the Mountains to Sea Trail, which is excellent.
Yeah, exactly. And, side trails, for example, the thru hiker might not be so concerned about a big loop that kind of, another trail that loops into the Mountains to Sea Trail, because they're going to be concerned with, white blazing and, staying on the trail. But, a section hiker might want to do that loop. A weekend hiker, a day hiker might want to come back to their car without having to go back the same way they walked. So, there's a lot of different facets to it for different hikers. And I think that I have most of it covered.
And I think I'm going to throw in here too. This is how Josh and I talk, you guys. We will call each other and we will just throw ideas out. And I'm going to throw this out right now.
Yeah.
I would say this is for family and non-hikers, because I have been, when I go out, I am recommending to my family members to download particular apps so they could open the app and utilize it and see. And now they can do that for free with the MST Guide.
Yeah.
And a non-hiker understanding a little bit a part of their loved one's hiker world. I see that happening too. So I just added the fourth one, the non-hiker, and the fifth one, the family member. So there you go. 5 different particular sets of people.
Maybe not even the hiker, but the person that, you hear the stories, like someone gets out on the trail and they say, oh, Mountains to Sea Trail, and they get the idea that, oh, this is a bigger, if it goes from the mountains to the coast, this is a lot bigger than just my neighborhood trail. Maybe I should go home and research that. And so, people like that don't know so much about the trail, are they going to be willing to spend money to unlock the detailed guide that I had out? Probably not. But now that they can go and see it for free, that's just going to encourage them to explore more of North Carolina.
And building upon this community piece. So we've talked about how hikers and family members and non-hikers can learn more about, the Mountains to Sea Trail itself. I'm also visualizing, here as a consumer, having access to trail angels who maybe want to put their phone number within the segments that they are trail angels within the app, trail maintainers, trail clubs. You and I've even talked about Mountains to Sea Trail, town communities, businesses along the trails, like campgrounds, like towns, even being able to make announcements. But let's get back to talk to us about your vision for trail angels and trail maintainers and trail clubs, where you see them utilizing this app.
Yeah, well, there's so much more that we can do with the app and that I want to do with the app. Right now we have comments under each segment where anybody can go in and make a comment. So for example, in segment 9 and 10, a trail angel, was gracious enough to put his phone number there for anybody who needs help along those segments. And so that's one way people can get involved like that. In the future, I would love to have some sort of trail angel listing, right within the app. This is all, I have a very long to-do list and goals for the app that I want to do. But then also the trail maintainers can use the app to organize. And for example, I was out at a trail work day at Falls Lake, and they meet up, and it's a very big group. That coronavirus, they wanted to split up into smaller groups, which is great. So we were all going to different places, and I was able to confirm that I was going to the right place just by pulling up the app and saying, all right, so we're going to go work on this bridge right here, and pull up the app and be able to visually tell other people where we're going, and here's the parking area for that. And I think that's the way that it can be used right now by trail maintainers, just to organize a little better.
And what about the future? Maybe the task force being able to make announcements, and the task force are the trail maintainers for the Mountains to Sea Trail, and maybe like trail clubs. Carolina Mountain Club may want to make an announcement. Hey, we're doing a big announcement. A lot of times I see on social media is, trash cleanup, pickup days. Towns could put, the town of Elkin could put in there, hey, we're having a trash cleanup, Roseboro's having a trash cleanup, and things like that. And again, this is just me and you talking out loud and, throwing ideas out to each other. So, these are really, really good problems to have, which means, the more people that utilize the app and give you feedback and what they see how the app would be utilized, the better, right? You're welcoming feedback on this too.
I think there's already places that exist for events, but I think having an events listing within the app itself and allowing people, giving specific users, the privileges to create event listings, whether it's for a community or for task force leaders to go out and advertise that, organize it right there within the app, and get the word out to, we already have hundreds of users on the app already, to really reach a broader audience and get people out there and get involved and really build a community along the Mountains to Sea Trail.
Perfect. And I know you and I talked too briefly about hikers taking pictures of maybe down trees and, putting that within the app. And then hikers eventually, maybe they see like a really cool campsite
right,
that they only want to save for themselves. So talk about those couple things, taking pictures to help the trail maintainers, and then taking pictures or, setting that coordinate point to where you remember to come back to.
Yeah. So that's going to be my main goal this summer, is to incorporate into the app a way that hikers can mark a point on their map and make either, say, a personal waypoint, say a nice campsite that they want to keep secret. They can, have that, keep it private, but then they also have the opportunity, if they want to share it with everybody else, to make it public, right? And then it'll go through an approval process. And if it's a legal campsite, we'll add it to the app. And that's a way that hikers can not only help themselves, find that campsite again, but also help others, help other hikers that come behind them. And then if we have that capability, we also have the capability for hikers to if they see, say, a down tree, to take a picture of it, mark it on the map, maybe write a short description about the tree or how big it is, and then they can report that as a trail maintenance issue. And we can get the word out to the trail task force leaders for that section. And then they can organize, say maybe make an event, right, for it to go out and, cut up that tree or, fix that bridge or whatever trail maintenance issue there is. We can get that done.
Another thing I just thought of too, and this is what we do, people, Josh and I just banter back and forth, which is great, is flooding. The flooded areas of trail or closed areas of trail. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Reporting that would really help. And, some issues like flooding are temporary. Sometimes it's only for a day, right? But, recently it's been for weeks. So
the rain here has been crazy in North Carolina.
Yes. So or like the coyote attacks in Greensboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, Greensboro?
Yeah. Well, you're still out in the sticks a little bit, so it doesn't surprise me all that much, but wow, coyotes attacking humans. Wow. So that in the app, actually, right now, I might take it down. I need to see if those trails are still closed, but I went in and I put a alert for the parts of the trail that are closed, that, hey, there's been coyote attacks and the trails are closed. You can't hike here. So that's another great feature of the app is, speed. We can get updates out there really, really quickly. Even if there's a trail reroute, say, one weekend we're out, or a group is out and they reroute the trail a little bit. All I need is the data, or shoot, I can go get the data. Someone send me the data and I can mark that reroute on the map and upload it within, minutes, and it's ready, for the next hiker to come through.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And another thing, this is another thing where the community piece comes in, and I'm not sure the capability of it right now. So you'll have to remind me, because I've only been looking at the iPhone version as a tester, is like profiles and being able to share your profile and connect with other hikers and who is out there and who is offering services to the community. So talk to us about that.
So I don't want to do like a full-blown social network like Facebook, but I do think there needs to be a way, especially if you're commenting and communicating with other hikers, to maybe connect with them, or connect with, hikers that you already are friends with as well. So when you log into the app right now, you'll see a profile that comes up, and right now it's private, like that information only you can see. But in the future, I do want to make it to where you can opt into having your profile be public. So then, for example, if someone clicks on your comment, or clicks on your name, and they can go to your profile, potentially add you as a friend. And then with that, there's so much more we can do with it. You can communicate with people directly, perhaps, or even if you're mutually friends. And this is an idea that I've had for a while now. But if you're mutually friends with somebody, right? So you've already added each other.
Right. And you agree,
that
mutuality, or I can't even say the word, but you agree that you'll share each other's stuff.
Right. You can, and you're both on the trail. And if you have internet access, it will take internet access for this part. You can see their location on the trail, which would be great for hiking buddies that might, how hiking goes when you're like, okay, I need to go off on my own now for a little while, but we need to reconnect.
Well, I see it great for safety.
Safety as well.
If I have somebody on my profile, a family member, this is where I see it. Or, my dad likes to follow me wherever I go. So I could have him as, a mutual friend on the app. Mm-hmm. And for safety, I can send him pings or however that works. Here I am. And we have that connection. So, and I just thought of that.
It would work exactly like you said. Yeah. And the caveat I like to add is, as long as you're on the trail, we aren't going to save your location off the trail, but as long as you're within, like, say, a mile or a half mile of the trail, we can save your location. And then that way they can know where you're at, and like maybe even guesstimate like how soon they're going to come to you, or like just figuring out stuff like that, I think.
And one of the things I like with the app is I can sit here at the house in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I can pull up the blue line there. And as a section hiker, one of the key components for me is driving. Okay, how far am I from this segment? How far am I from this trailhead? Mm-hmm. And I can see it immediately. Mm-hmm. It pings me where I'm at. I can see how far I am from the trail. So for me, that is a key feature. So,
real quick on the Android version, I don't know if this is true for the iPhone version, but the Android version, you can click on a waypoint, and at the bottom of the screen, it'll pop up to get directions for it. And it'll actually give you directions to that specific waypoint in Google Maps. So
I'll check that on the iPhone version. I'll check that.
I need to verify that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and these are the things, you guys, that I'm so happy to promote is, a lot of these things that you can do within the app, and it is now free to download, and you guys know why. And I don't think Josh and I are done bantering back and forth, and we've got several ideas of things that we want to do together in the future. And I will go ahead and say that Josh and I are going to be together at NC Trail Days. That Saturday, I think, is June the 5th. We are both leading hikes. I'm leading one that Saturday. I think Josh is leading a hike that Friday, possibly. We're not 100% confirmed on that. Mm-hmm. But if you guys want to come and meet Josh and hang out, we will be, where is it? In the town center where the vendors are going to be?
It is on Main Street in Elkin. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's where it was 2 years ago. I assume they'll keep it on Main Street.
All right. So you guys can go to the North Carolina Trail Days website, where you can find that on the Elkin Valley Trails Association website. You can find all that information. But Josh and I will definitely be hanging out together on that Saturday, wherever the vendor booths are. I will probably be there after 12 because I'll be leading a hike before that. But Josh, before I let you go here, just want to recap real quick, because again, I cannot emphasize what you've done here for the Mountains to Sea Trail community and what you will continue to do. You have an app, the MST Guide. It is now free and available on Android, on iPhone. And how can people get in touch with you to give you feedback? What's your email is what you want to give people? Yeah.
So support@pockettrails.app is a great way to just send a quick email to me. Whatever issues you have with the app, whatever suggestions you might have. I admit that I'm probably not the best eye when it comes to designing things. So I'd really appreciate design input on things. And also just, how can we make this better for other hikers?
And how do they access the guide? I know how to do it on the iPhone. I just go to the iPhone, the app store.
Yeah, app store. Yeah.
And type in the MST Guide. Same for, I'm not familiar with Google Play, but same for that as well, right?
Same thing for Google Play, the MST Guide. And it should be the first thing that comes up.
And I want to, And I want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting and being an advertiser on or advertising for the MST Guide on all of the Mountains of Sea Trail specific podcast episodes. I truly, truly thank you for that. And I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what we do here in the future. And Josh, thank you so much. Anything you want to leave the listeners with?
Well, let me thank you in response to that for putting these out there and really spreading the word about the MST. And congrats on finishing your 40-day hikes as well. And thanks for letting me sponsor these episodes that you've done for the MST. I've really appreciated that. Other than that, let me just repeat trail days, June 4th through 6th, I believe, in Elkin, North Carolina. I'll be there and I'll be camping. So if anybody wants to camp downtown in Crater Park with me for free, with free showers at the visitor center, come on down.
I will be at Birds Branch Campground glamping. So you can find Josh downtown. I'll be over at Birds Branch. You can see us both on that Saturday. Josh is going to be so gracious and let me hang out in his booth with him for pocket trails, and look forward to meeting all of you. Thanks again, Josh. Chat real soon.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. The MST Guide app is now available on Android and iPhone and is free to all users. Josh, I really look forward to being part of the MST community that you build for the users of the app. And Josh, you are welcome back to the podcast anytime you want to chat and talk ideas for the future. See you all at North Carolina Trail Days. Thanks for listening, everybody. And if you want more info about NC Trail Days or contact information for Josh, please check out the show notes. And if you have found any value in what we do here at the Hiking Radio Network, please consider a donation to the show. Until next Saturday, happy section hiking.
Go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
At Novavax, we want to make sure you have all the facts. And the fact is, there are different types of COVID-19 vaccines available. So if you're thinking about getting an updated vaccine, ask your doctor or pharmacist about the options available to you so you can make an informed choice. Find out more at WeDoVaccines.com. That's WeDoVaccines.com. This message was brought to you by Novavax.